Yeah, I should have put a ring on it, Gloria. I should have done that. I don't know why I didn't. I think it was despite my pops there for a long time, you know? I mean, who gets an arranged marriage and has it work out these days, eh? Yeah, but when I first saw you perform your little ballerina routine, oof. Ooh, you had me there. You definitely had me there. I mean, what was I supposed to do? You know, how could I resist? I couldn't. I couldn't stop thinking about nothing else. You know, it was just you, baby. From that day forward, I knew it. I knew it, but I didn't want to give my old man the satisfaction. You know, didn't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing that once again old Vinny was wrong and he was right. God, I was a disrespectful little punk. I don't know why. I don't know why he kept giving me more chances. You know, it was always been tough being the next to the last child. My oldest brother Tony, he wasn't no help neither. Always picking on me. He'd think he'd be protective. I think he wanted to just toughen me up for the world. Maybe that's what he was doing for me, huh? Maybe that's what he was doing. Nonetheless, we kept getting another chance, you know, another chance. And then Pops put us out here. Try to get that big shoe deal. We were close, too. Me and Gloria, it was like a vacation for us, you know, chance to get out of Brooklyn for a little while. Maybe I didn't have to try so hard. And then there was that night. That night I'll never forget. When that video played on the DV set, the whole world changed. I sat there stunned, you know, for a little while. You remember, Gloria. We was about to make love. Everything stopped. Felt like it stopped for a long time, too. I don't know how long it was. We sat there at the edge of the bed, looking at one another. You remember what I said to you, Gloria? I could see the fear in your face. You weren't quite sure what to say, and truth be told, neither was I. The only thing I could say was to squeeze your hand and tell you it was going to be all right. Tell you that we were going to be okay. And whatever it was, that the governments were going to figure it out. You know, you got the UN, the World Health Organization, all these motherfuckers. They was going to figure it out. And Dad, he was Pops. He had a lot of money, so did Gloria. I mean, her family, she had a lot of money too. There was no reason that we was going to have to worry about no infection. But we needed to get out, you know. And that's the problem. As soon as the video played, People started to panic after the shock went off, and we started getting people sick. I mean, and then came the knock on the door. You know, we was already packing up. We were going to go to the airport, you know, and try to catch a flight and get the hell out of here, you know, and try to get back home to Brooklyn, where we should have been. But instead, instead we ended up here. It was the police at the door, you know, machine guns and everything. They were already dressed in some sort of gas masks and chemical suits, like we had committed some sort of crime here. Our only crime was we was alive. And they weren't sure whether or not we'd been infected with this, whatever the hell this is, the VD. Now, fortunately, they brought us outside, you know, the hotel. They brought us out, and you know, while we were in the throngs with the other people, guards all around, you could see we were able to duck into an alleyway that wasn't covered. You and I, we got out of there. We made our way through the city carefully, at least for a little while. Nothing but army trucks around. After a few hours, and there was the family that we saw in the streets. You remember them, don't you, Gloria? They refused to get on the truck. That was all they was asking, was for them to get on the truck. I mean, you could tell. I mean, it's not like I speak the language here very well. Well, not at all. And but you could tell they was pointing to get the family up on the truck. You know? They kept getting more and more insistent, and their words, they started getting louder and louder, and you could see it on the wife's face and the child that she was pulling to her bosom. There wasn't nothing but terror in their eyes. Nothing but fear. Fear of a government that maybe had done this before. The husband kept insisting. Gloria and I, you remember, we was hiding behind the dumpster there in the alleyway, and we're watching as he's just pleading with the guards, pleading with them not to let them get on the truck. And that's when they shot him. They shot him right in front of his wife and his child. Right there. They shot him in cold blood. What was his crime? Huh? What was his crime, Gloria? Was it that he just wanted to protect his family? He wanted to keep his options open? Maybe he knew what I could feel in my gut, that we didn't want to go to the we didn't want to go where they was taking everybody else. I mean, if there's an infection, if there's a plague or something like that that's been released, being around other people seems to be the worst place to go. You know? It seems to be the worst. You followed me. We waited. We watched them tear the mother and boy from her bosom, put them on the truck. We left him there in the street. The pool of blood. Because he wanted a chance. with his family. We managed to find our way outside the city. We didn't have much. A little bit that we could scrounge up. Fortunately, I learned from my older brother how to pick a lock. You should have seen the look on Gloria's face when she saw me jimmy that lock for the first time. We got what we needed, a little bit here and there. Backpack, new pair of shoes, some pans to cook with, a little bit of food. We made our way out into the wild. You could hear all the helicopters flying around, the lights from the helicopters just shining down into the city like they was looking for people, anybody that wasn't around. Oh, and the gunfire. Oh, you could hear the gunfire. Weapons going off here and there. The weeks after, we'd run into a few people that would help us, point us down further to the south. I was trying to get to a place where there might be boats, like fishing boats, or cruise lines or something like that we could get in. Maybe get in with a small group of people that we knew wasn't infected, and we could get out of here. We could make our way back to Brooklyn, to some place that wasn't impacted by the virus. You wanted to stay put. I remember, Gloria, you wanted to stay put. You thought we could find like a little ranch or something off the beaten path where nobody was. And you and I would just live there for the rest of our lives. And we probably would have been safe. We would have had a lot of, maybe some children. Maybe it would have been all right. But you know me, Gloria, I'm stubborn. I'm a fighter. I don't run. Not normally. And I didn't run then either. I pushed this on, thinking the sooner we get to this coastline, the sooner we get the boats, the better off it was going to be. Weeks on the road, we didn't have really not much in the way of weapons other than a hockey stick that I found. Remember, I sharpened the edge of it with the stone? That was all I had to fight off the wolves. And I ain't talking about the four-legged kind. I'm so sorry, Gloria. I let us into that town. I mean, we were desperate for food, I just had no idea what they was gonna do to you. No idea. They gave us they welcomed us, gave us some food, asked us about the news that we had heard, They even had somebody there that spoke English. The translator seemed kind. Everything was fine until I started to get a little dizzy. I thought it was just the fatigue of the road, you know? Not having a real good sleep. Being on the move, my feet, they hurt so much. It was nice to have a warm meal. It was nice. I remember looking over at you and your eyes were rolling in the back of your head. And I could see you were sweating a lot. And then you just slumped kind of down in your chair. I wanted to reach for your hand. I was trying to extend it out, but it felt like it was so heavy. I couldn't move it. I couldn't move. And that's when I realized I saw them smiling and laughing. I saw them grab a hold of you. And one of them, a big, fat, disrespectful motherfucker, he stuck his tongue out and he licked the side of your face like he was tasting something. Like he was tasting something. God. When I came to, I was hanging upside down. My feet and my arms had been tied. And I was on some giant hook. And there you were. What was left of you. What they hadn't carved up, they stuck back on the hook to save for later. And I could do nothing. You do nothing. I couldn't save you. It led you into certain doom. That's when the shots rang out. There was some shots. I think some sort of explosion or something. I realized I had to get myself out of there. I mean, there wasn't anything I could do for you except to go on living, to fight and keep surviving. It's the only thing I could do. It's when I swung myself side to side. I grabbed onto your chest. I pulled myself up to your hook. And I took all my strength and I lifted my feet up off the hook I was on, and then I dropped. And I hit the floor. I looked around and the arrogant sons of bitches had left a cleaver over on a table. Looked like one of your legs. Grabbed the cleaver. I started walking out of there as fast as I could. I was making too much noise, though. That's when I noticed one of them was coming back. I quickly hid in the shadows. He didn't see me as he went by. I hit that fat fuck with that cleaver right in the gut. I fucked that up. I fucked that motherfucker up for what he did to you. I kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. I remember. I remember the sound it made when it hit its chest. Disrespectful motherfucker. To get out of there. I wondered for I don't know how long. I wondered. Then I started to think, well, I got to get on a boat. I got to get on a boat. If Gloria didn't make it, maybe New York City would be fine. Maybe New York City would be fine. I would be there. I could find the boat and get out. That's what brought me here. What brought me here?